Hello, this is Rafał Jaki, and I have with myself Damien Monnier. Hello, Damo.
Hello.
And we are from CD Projekt Red, and we would like to introduce you to Gwent.
A moment, Witcher. You strike me as a man of the world. Are you familiar with Gwent?
No, and I don't have time to learn.
But the rules are quite simple. Come, let's play.
Why not?
Splendid! Here's how it's done.
This is a card game that you will have a chance to play if you decide to do so when exploring the world, encountering NPCs, and even you can have a big, tournament in Novigrad if you choose to, pursue those line of questing, because you can find new cards, you can find new things in the game, and we just wanted to highlight how the game is played. Maybe, Damo, you can take it from here.
Something that we haven't really talked about so far, so we thought we needed to do a short video explaining to you what Gwent is all about. It is quite simple. It's a game of two armies clashing, and you as a player, you will play the general of one of those armies. The rules are fairly simple. You will take turn and place a card on the board, which we call the battlefield. And the idea is that each card that you will place is called a unit card, and it has a little value in the corner. That value will add up, and the player with the highest value will basically win a battle. Now, the trick is that you only get 10 cards at the beginning of the game, and it's the best of 3 round that will win the whole battle. You will not be getting additional cards during the game. There are some exceptions, we might mention them later on, but the idea is that you have 10 cards and you must win 2 games with it, 2 matches.
And basically when you place those cards, you can place them on 3 different areas, as we call them. So the first area is just melee range, as we call it, so close combat. Then we have ranged, which is archers and those kind of things, bowmen. And then we will have
the siege weapon.
The siege weapon. And the siege weapon obviously is ballistas, trebuchets, and those kind of
catapults.
Yeah, catapults, weaponry. And this simulates the battlefield as we envision it in a very simplistic way to highlight the way the Gwent is actually played.
Yeah, there's the strong theme there we wanted to keep, as well as have some cool mechanics. We wanted it to really make sense. So you have some special cards as well, which are weather cards, and these weather cards will affect all the units on the whole row. Your units as well as the enemy's units. And even those we tried to keep with the theme, so close combat will be affected by frost. If you play frost, all of the units on the close combat row will see their values rendered to 1. Then we have fog. Fog is for long range, so the archers, they can't see because of the fog, so they're not as powerful. And then the last one, which is rain. Rain sort of affects the wood and the ropes of all the siege weapons and will render them a little weaker. Now, there are a lot of special cards. We're not going to show them all to you because we want you to have fun, go in the world and find them yourselves. Now, what we're going to do is show you a video that I recorded earlier on. Actually, I was playing a game of Gwent, as I often do, and I wanted to test out a new deck. We have 4 factions in Gwent. We have Northern Realms, we have Nilfgaard, Scoia'tael, and Monsters, and I was working on improving my monster deck. Alright, so here you can see that I had my initial 10 cards. I'm just going to pause here. Basically, what you can do at the beginning is redraw up to 2 cards. You don't have to, but in this case I really wanted to, because you can see I have 2 Commander's Horn, and what that will do, that card will double the value of all the cards on 1 row. Now, having 2 is pretty good, but also have the ability, if you look at the bottom left corner, you see the leader. My leader's ability, the one that I picked for this particular match, will give me the same as a Commander's Horn for the close combat unit. So I didn't need 2 of them, so I decided to just get rid. I also had a look at this lovely looking lady here. She's really very cool.
I love Abraxa when she's all out in the open.
All out, as you would. Now, you can see the little icon there on the left, and that's very, very typical of the monster deck. It's called muster, and basically what that will do is that when you place one of those cards on the battlefield, so in this case a vampire card, it will call other vampire cards either in your deck or in your hand. So, for me, having 2 of those in my hand is actually quite bad, because when I place one, I will lose the other one that's also in my hand. So I will be down to 8 cards after only 1 round. So I decided to get rid of that one as well and hopefully not get another vampire. Now I wanted to take a closer look at this card because it's one of my favorites. It's a dragon, and this card is really hard to find as well. When you will place it on the battlefield, it will kill the strongest unit card of your enemy, assuming that the total value on that specific row is higher than 10. Does that make sense, Lefo?
Yep, it does.
Now, I know this guy has that card because I've played against him earlier on and I actually lost because of it, so I will try and be careful this time.
So the Nilfgaard faction started with a spy card, and the spy card is really cool because you basically give the points to the opponent, but you get 2 new cards instead.
Now, I told you earlier on that the enemy had that same dragon card, so I didn't want to put too many points straight away on the board because I knew he was going to burn me, so instead I played some ghouls.
And Demo also used the ghoul ability that he talked about earlier, which means that 1 ghoul will attract others from his deck. So the total right now is 14 versus 0, because he was only playing spies at this point.
Now, I wasn't too sure what to play at that point, but I decided to, instead of playing a unit card, I played a horn, so it doubled everything on there. Yeah,
another spy for Nilfgaard.
So at that point, the AI is really just trying to get as many cards as possible. I'm already on 46. I feel pretty safe. I choose to pass.
And from this point, you cannot place another card. Only Nilfgaard will play until they decide to pass.
So we see here that he indeed played the dragon. He just played, I'm going to pause here really quickly so we can see what's going on. He played the dragon, burnt one of my top cards, then he scorched, burning another card because the AI is aware that my ability as a monster is to keep a card at the end of the round on the board. So we end here with 17, 14, and I actually ended up losing the round. As you can see, I kept 1 card. It's totally random. It turned out to be the weakest card, unfortunately.
Okay, and right now Nilfgaard starts and they play Yennefer, which is a hero card. She brings back one of the cards from the discard pile, and that's the dragon. So right now they're at 14.
I decide to go with the vampires this time. Fetch the other 3, so that's really, really powerful.
Yeah, it's 17 to 14 at this point. The Nilfgaard faction plays another hero card, and the hero cards are not affected by anything within the game. They stay on the board as is.
So as you can see, when I play the dragon, the hero will not die. Heroes are not affected by any special cards. They will still go to the discard pile at the end, but they will not be affected by anything.
Nilfgaard brought up something from the graveyard.
So at this point there was 3 burns. I was quite upset about it. I still had 6 cards, so I decided to just play it safe and play a hero card.
And the Draug is a hero card, which is indicated on the left corner. They have a special ornament
shiny.
There. Yeah. Right now it's with 35 versus 27, and it's Damien's.
My good friend Siri, because at that point my technique was just to try not get burnt, and obviously I had to win the last round. The AI just decided to horn its bottom card. I just went all out and trying to save 2 cards for the last round. Now this one is an important card actually. I'm going to pause here. Do you want to talk about it?
The decoy card lets you fetch to your hand a card that was already played. So if you can see that there is a point at the game when you can benefit from taking some card that you've already played and play it again, you should do that with the decoy card.
It's really good when bluffing as well. If you play your strongest card at the beginning and the opponent will try and match you, thus wasting one of his cards, you can just decoy yours back into your hand and they've spent, say, 10 points.
And as you can see, Nilfgaard has 5 cards left and Damien has only 3 left.
He just decoyed his dragon back, and that's usually a bad sign because that means he wants to play it again, obviously, and have its ability.
But Damien has passed, and the AI has lost this round. There's still 5 versus 3 cards, and it's important from this point on to play very strategically.
So I go with Arakas, which will fetch, you can see at the bottom it fetches the Daddy Arakas as well, which is great.
Yeah, so we're already at 22.
Fortunately, I made a mistake. I totally forgot that he had grabbed his dragon back, so that burnt the front row guys. And I go for the witches.
They fetch other witches. He plays a 6 card, which is 24 versus 13 at this point, and 1 card in Daemo's hand.
So at that point I'm wasting the weather card, Clear Weather, which will get rid of all the weather cards on the board. The reason I do that, and the AI will also do that sometimes, is just to see what else it can do. Now, I didn't have much of a choice, I just had my general's ability, but I wanted to see anyway what he had in hand because he had 3 cards left.
So he plays very conservatively, another card that is mid-value.
At that point, I will pop my leader's ability, which will double everything, and hope for the best.
Let's see if that is enough, Daemo. Okay, he plays another 5, and because they have a special ability, they doubled their strength. Now he plays the last card, which is a 5, and that's not going to be enough, guys. So we've won. So Daemo, how do you feel as a winner?
I feel pretty confident. This deck is clearly very powerful. I'm very happy with it. I got a bit lucky. The AI didn't have any frost cards to screw my close combat units, but that's part of the game. You have to adapt to whoever you're playing against. So hopefully you guys will have as much fun playing Gwent as we had making it. Thanks again for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.